Night.
Oh, you were screaming at the game.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, shout out to the New England Patriots for winning. That was what
I was voting for.
Really?
I actually was.
When I tell you that last call, I was done. I was so excited when that whole ball fumble thing happened. I was like, wow. See, they about to do this thing. They about to do this thing.
Yes, it was a good game though.
Yeah,
They both really kept it tight. We had a little Super Bowl gathering.
Okay.
So,
You cooked?
I did not cook.
No tilapia this time.
But I was gonna fry some chicken actually this time.
Okay.
But no, we ended up just doing takeout sandwiches, wings, and stuff like that. Have some family and friends over. So we had a great time. We were so turned up and entertaining that I ended up losing my voice. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll be doing a lot of talking tonight.
Well, I'm used to that. Just running my mouth pretty much, but
my weekend was pretty good overall.
Okay.
Friday evening was some work. Saturday.
Here we go. Miss Baker does not know how to have a day just to relax and do what? Nothing. Say it with me, Miss Baker. Nothing.
That did not happen this weekend. Because then on Saturday, we did the shoot Saturday morning.
Right.
I did my exercise in the morning, boot camp. Then I met up with you, did the photo shoot. Right after that, I had some of the girls over to watch their DVD premiere, their fashion show that happened last month. And after that, I stayed at work for probably until about 7, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Sunday went to church. After
Amen.
church, got prepared for the gathering. And
Okay. How many people did you have?
Wait a minute, could that count? Could last night count as not working and
No, okay, but no. First of all, you had a gathering, so you had people over, okay?
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure you had to host it. Am I correct?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you was not just sitting down.
I guess I was just entertaining it, but go ahead.
Okay, so hosting, entertaining, same thing. So no, it's not really relaxing.
No, I didn't sit down. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
You need some more to drink? And I watched this. People was dropping stuff down. You was picking it up.
Okay. Well.
Exactly. See, I knew it. No. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Well, tell us about what you did over the weekend that was nothing.
Well,
I want to hear nothing one of these days. Let me hear it.
Well, let's see. What did I do this weekend? Friday, haircut. It was time to get prepared for a Saturday. And then Friday, I pretty much, once I got home, just got, my clothes and things like that together. And then Saturday, woke up, ran some errands real quick early. Did the photo shoot, which was, like you said, was really good. And then after that, one of my good friends, Aaron, it was his birthday, so we went down to a restaurant down in DC, which I'd never been to. And it was crazy because, let me tell you about this, Miss Baker. It started off calm. We ate, and the food was okay. We were down near the Georgetown area, not really Georgetown, but food was okay. So then what happened was, he told us, he was like, well, right afterwards, it's going to turn into an open dance floor. So we was like, all right. So all in all, I think it was probably about 12 of us, 12, 13, 12, maybe 15 people. I'll say 15 people. So when I got there, I was eating, I was busy, eating and socializing. But I did not notice that the other end of the table started asking the waitress, hey, can I get my bill? So she got the bill, but then when it came time for them to start getting the dance party together, everybody else at the table, she just slapped on one bill, and she was just like, the bill was $400, and she was like,
oh my goodness.
Y'all break this out yourself. What? I was like, wait a minute. Do you know that means I'm getting your gratuity, right? I'm doing your job. So people are just starting to, it was not crowded at all. Next thing I know, people just started coming. We are still sitting at the table. They are grabbing candles, blowing candles out. It's just like a madhouse. So we're just sitting there, like, what are you waiting for? We broke the bill down. We waiting for her to bring it back, broken down further.
Right.
So finally, she's away, and next minute security comes. I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all gonna have to get up. We gotta move these tables because people are trying to dance.
Oh my God.
They moved the table, so as they're moving the last table, she finally comes with the bills for the remaining of us. And I think the last maybe $20, she was just like, man, just forget it. It's just too much because it just got too crowded. They come to find out, as I like literally turned around, it was just a packed house. It was 3 levels of a packed house. Come to find out, I thought it was a cover charge to get in. Oh no. You can get in for free. Only thing that you have to do is probably just like go to the bar and buy a drink. But they don't, actually keep an eye on that. It was that crowded that it was a line wrapped around the building.
Wow.
Miss Baker. I said, you know what?
So did it turn out nice though?
Yeah, I mean, I stayed for a little bit as far as the music portion is concerned, but it was just so crowded that it was like if they broke out with the wobble, I'll be doing the exit. Okay.
But you know what? A lot of times when parties are overcrowded like that, it make you not even want to be there.
Oh, that's how I felt.
Yourself, you're not comfortable.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And it was one of my other friends that I was with. Her crazy self, she was like, bump that. I'm about to call the fire marshal because this is a fire hazard. I said, we don't need that tonight. Let me make it back to my car before you call the fire marshal. So other than that, and then Sunday, I just chilled, caught up on some shows during the game. So I watched it in Dina Menzel, open awesome. Then
honey, that halftime show?
What?
That halftime show.
Hold on. No, Miss Baker, hold on. Katy Perry shut it down. Missy Elliott shut it down. Lenny looked good, shut it down. But when I tell you what made me laugh, now I'm not with the whole Facebook, you get on Facebook and they put the side-by-side images. When somebody took the Cheetos, man, and they put Katy Perry with the...
I didn't see that. I haven't really been online today, though. I haven't seen that.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But no, hands up, props up to Miss Katy Perry.
She did her thing.
Missy came back and she said, look, I'm back with long. I was like, girl, your hair grew.
And I'm going to hit y'all with an old song, and you're going to love it.
Exactly. I felt like I was back in high school for a minute. I was like, is she working?
Yeah, she was.
But that was about it. So watched a little bit of Super Bowl and then, of course my show The Blacklist was on and me and executive producer Terrence Styles was going back and forth on Facebook because he's never seen Blacklist and he's telling me that, Miss Pope and her other crew that comes on How to Get Away with Murder, they can outdo Blacklist. So we got into this whole Blacklist.
Yeah, all day. I haven't even seen Blacklist, but there's no way they messing with it.
No.
Now if you threw Empire in there, I might have coulda.
He threw that in there too. Yeah. So we was just going back and forth on Facebook, but
Blacklist shouldn't even been coming on after.
Well, you know what happens? Each network, when they get the actual Super Bowl, they choose their hottest show, and they actually allow to give them a Super Bowl slot. To kind of build up, not necessarily build up the ratings, but they know they're really going to go in. So every network gets it. So he was like, Empire needs to be doing it. Well, one, it ain't on Fox right now. So depending on when Fox gets it, if Empire's still hot, then they could probably do it. I could definitely see them doing it though, but. So other than that,
I'm telling you, after the Super Bowl went off, people's TVs went off or they changed the channel.
Oh, they were drunk.
Nobody was.
Or they turned it off right after that last play, and they was like, "Bump that, I'm done. I'm done." But in all, so you was happy with the win and all that kind of stuff.
I was in there going, and I made up chants and everything.
Okay.
That's why all the way horse.
Shit.
But yeah, I had a good time. I mean, my team is the Ravens all day long. But like what I was telling like the people that had came over yesterday was, once you get there, you have to pick a team, even if it's not your team, just to make it fun. So then once they came, they picked their team. Then we had like these little beads. That's the color of the team. So you have to wear the beads. And then we had like these little piggy banks that was the colors of the teams.
Okay.
Where you could put money in there. And at the end of the night, winners, take all, losers lose all.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big old thing because the Patriots team walked away with gas money for everybody. So, yeah.
That's a smart way of doing it. I know because like most people always
it wasn't no pressure. It was like you could put $1 in here, you could put $10 in here.
I like that.
So people put in whatever they wanted to put in.
Okay, because some people be going big balling like.
Well, yeah.
$200.
Yeah.
I can't do that. My heart will start hurting.
Yeah, my brothers do stuff like that. And if you ain't meeting them there, they ain't going to put it in.
Oh, see? That's the way you got to do it. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, but before we take a commercial break, I just want to bring a quick awareness. This Friday, February 6th, it's National Wear Red Day. This came from one of our listeners, and big shout outs for giving us this information. Once again, it's Wear Red Day, and basically, what are you wearing red for? You're showing your support for women with heart disease. As you know, heart disease is the #1 killer of women, killing more women than all forms of cancer combined. So Go Red stands for get your numbers, own your lifestyle, realize your risk, educate your family, and don't be silent.
And you know what else? It's not just women. I actually know
Yes.
kids that has heart disease.
And you know, and that's the crazy part about it. These days, you don't even have to be, 100% health. I mean, you can be 100% healthy. That's what I'm gonna say. You can be 100% healthy, and it just happens like that. So definitely get out there, see your physicians, see your doctors, and get yourself checked out. It's very, very important these days to know your health and know where you stand at.
Absolutely.
So Go Red on Friday. Well, when we come back, we're gonna kick off things with the Style Report and tell me something good.
Tell me something good.
Oh, you taking my place. More Style Chronicles when we come back.
It's Style Chronicles.
Monday, yes, once again, it's the Style Chronicles radio show live on WPB Radio. It's your new host, Sean Mack. The smack is back. I haven't heard the glass in a long time.
Okay.
I felt the need to do that. Even though traffic was awesome today. So traffic was awesome, but the weather is like, this is how I feel when you go outside. And I am sitting next to the lovely
Miss D. Danielle Baker. I can't say it like you.
Hold on, wait, Miss D. Danielle Baker.
Go ahead and
D. Miss Baker.
Oh.
D. Miss Danielle Baker. Oh, I'm the whole D.
Right.
Danielle Baker. Oh, you said you want, I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah, give me the money.
It's all about the money. All right, if you're just joining us, we're actually about to kick off our chronicle for the evening. Our chronicle is entitled The Divine Nine. We're going to talk about fraternity and sorority life and some other things that are surrounding that. So, I mean, this is a good topic. I was really pumped about this. So, I don't know, how you feel about it?
I'm feeling great about it too. I was just letting them know on the break that I'm ready to learn something tonight.
I know, and they started laughing.
Yeah.
I guess started laughing at you because they were like, "Where you from?" Well, speaking of guests, we are pumped. We are pumped. Like, this is the first time we actually had somebody in the studio with us, so we can look at faces. Look at faces is so different, but we love it when people call in. So during the segments, you feel
outside
free
of
to actually call in.
our guest co-hosting.
Yeah.
You mean from this season?
This season.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
season five so far. But no, feel free to definitely call in if you want to chime in and give any type of input, your facts that you may have. If you want to let us know some details that you may know or ask our guests some questions. The number is 888-400-5574. Once again, it's 888-400-5574. And now, without further ado, we would like to welcome our two guests for the evening so far, and our third guest will be joining us a little bit later on. First, we're going to start off with the lovely Miss Keisha Reed. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm great. How are you?
Yes, welcome
Welcome
live
to the
studio
show.
audience. Yes, welcome to the show. All right, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Just put me on the spot.
Yes, just put you on the spot, just like
Keisha
that.
Reed.
Okay.
I currently live in Baltimore.
Okay.
Originally from Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
Went to school at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
Big up Eastern Shore.
Right. And currently live in Baltimore, work in digital marketing.
Oh, okay. Okay. And if you could say what organization? are you with?
Swing by Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated.
Okay. So we're going to get back to that and you're going to definitely break it down to us and tell us what that is. And our second guest, Mr. Eric Ashdorf, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Sean?
I am doing good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, hold on. I gotta give you the live studio audience. Sorry. Gotta send the love. Yes. Send the love around. All right. Tell our studio audience about you.
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Ashdorf Jr. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. Born and raised in the Park Heights area. I attended the illustrious Elizabeth City State University, home of the mighty Vikings, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Okay.
I currently have a degree in physical education with a minor in sports medicine, and I am a current financial member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I came in through the tenacious Tall Pie chapter in Howard County, Maryland, home of Maryland Q's, root to the Brewers.
All right.
Okay. So we're about to just pass the show over to you. broke it down. When I say you just broke it
Talk
down.
about chapter. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All
Okay,
right.
okay, I got one question.
Go ahead, Ms. Baker.
Can y'all teach me a step tonight before we leave? At least one.
She said I'm retired. Keisha said I'm
I
retired.
can't get one step.
About 8 years in, I'm tired.
Oh.
You're never too old, too young, too tired to do any step.
Tell her, here we go.
Like you tell you.
So that means I'm gonna get a step
They
then.
step at weddings.
I could be in a wheelchair and just put one foot out and just hop on out.
She said y'all step at weddings, y'all step at
McDonald's.
McDonald's, Five
Yes.
Guys, on the corner, doesn't matter.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.
I know that's right.
All right, so we're gonna start with Keisha. Keisha, tell us a little bit about your actual organization that you pledged.
Absolutely. So, Swing by Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated was founded in 1969 at Winston-Salem State University. We are a community service-based organization, so
Okay.
nonprofit in roots. We are a non-Greek organization,
Okay.
so we are not affiliated with the Divine Nine,
Okay.
but we have very strong ties and partnerships with the Divine Nine.
Okay, and what made you decide to choose that particular organization to
Important
pledge?
security message. Please call the phone number provided as soon as possible.
Okay,
So,
thank you, Ms. Baker, for that. Ms. Baker's breaking it down.
Close the laptop.
So
That's funny.
I decided to join Swing by Swing after a first look fair, which is usually the freshman orientation
Okay.
organizational fair on campus. And they had a banging booth. I had two women that were at the booth who really kind of broke down what swing was. I went to a few events, some community service events, and before going to college, I was kind of like, oh, I don't really want to join an organization. I just want to go to school, graduate, make some friends.
And you have a lot of people that actually, a lot of people that say that they really, you hear certain things about it, and sometimes you hear positive, sometimes you hear bad things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you really don't know, and everybody, I don't want to join it, I don't want to do that. But then you go there and things may change.
Yeah, and I went to a few events, hung out with some sisters, hung out with, some of my brothers, Group by Group Social Fellowship Incorporated, and fell in love. And from that point on, I went through the process and became a member.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, Eric, what about you?
Well, my organization, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, was founded on Howard University in Washington, D.C. We were founded by 4 illustrious black men, 3 juniors, and actually one advisor. The advisor's name was Ernest Everett Just. The 3 juniors were Frank Coleman, Arthur James Cooper, and Bishop Edgar Amos Love. We were the first African American organization to be founded at Howard University. Everybody else came after us.
Wow.
My organization was based on the 4 cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, uplift, and our motto is friendship is essential to the soul. We have over 700 chapters nationwide, and one of the chapters had to be my chapter, the Tall Pie chapter, located in Howard County, Maryland.
Okay. So what made you decide to pledge Omega?
This is a real long story. This started when I was in 4th grade, actually.
Wow, that young?
Yes. When I was in 4th grade, doing Black History Month, an Omega Step team, to this day I still don't know where they were from. They came and they did an amazing job hopping, and I was just blown away. Now, mind you, at 4th grade, I didn't really know what they were doing. I just knew they had my favorite color. It was purple, and they would just jump across the stage acting a fool, and that was me at the time. So I went home and I told my mother what I seen, and she said, "Well, Eric, that is a fraternity." She began to explain to me what fraternity was. I really didn't care. All I knew was that I want to do it. So she said, "Well, you go to college, you can do it." I was like, "So if I go to college, I can do it." She said, "Yep." So I said, "Cool, no problem." So years later, back in my mind, I kept it in the back of my mind. I want to do this into high school where I started getting more mature. I started to research other organizations besides Omega Psi Phi. Still wanted to be a member of Omega Psi Phi. I researched all the other organizations. So once I finally graduated from high school, I went to college. Still wanted to be a member of Omega Psi Phi. And like a few years later, in fall 12, I crossed into Omega Psi Phi.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would have to say the Omegas are loud. They're very loud. Very, very loud. Interesting. So two different paths, and 2 different decisions on how you actually decided to pledge. Quick question for you guys, to get into some questions that we have. I know you mentioned as far as like Keisha going to the actual fair and actually, you know, seeing some of the booths and setup, was that really what caught your attention? Or did you kind of know a little bit about it prior to going?
So when I actually approached the booth, these women were having a conversation with each other.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was kind of like, whoa, you know, am I, you know, being disrespectful by jumping into your conversation? And, you know, they kind of, you know, got a little bit of my background, talked about, you know, what I wanted to do with my life after college. And I think that conversation was very crucial. It wasn't more so the selling or the pitching of, you gotta join swing, you gotta do this, you gotta be into something. It was more so, well, tell me about yourself. You know, the interest of being a Black woman on campus, kind of relating to the experience that they had, was more important than that hard sell.
Okay. All right. So what about because I know you were started at a younger age, and you never once thought about Eric going to a different, like pledging a different organization?
No, even though like with me, aside from my cousin in St. Louis who passed, I'm the only Greek in my family. My mother was a single sweetheart at Cobb University, but that's a little bit different than what I'm actually. So no, my decision has never changed at all. I mean, even though I researched every other organization, Kappa Alpha Psi, Phi Beta Sigma, my choice has never changed.
Okay. If both of y'all can get into, what are some of the benefits of being a part of either fraternity or sorority or, you know, another outside independent organization? Keisha first.
Oh, sure. Okay. So one of the benefits outside of, you know, what is touted as the networking purposes or, you know, the lifelong friendships that you have, I think one of the benefits that I've grown to love in my almost 8 years in my organization is the opportunity to connect with people who I probably would have never spoken to or even seen on the street. And I think having that exposure to those women who are nurses, who are doctors, who are lawyers, kind of broadened my perspective of me and, you know, my growth as a woman, as a Black woman in general. So I think, you know, networking is great. That's one, you know, benefit of the organization.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, a lifelong sisterhood, someone you can call on. You have line sisters or, you know, women that you enter into the organization with. So you have someone you can lean on, someone that can babysit your children when you are, you know,
Yes.
you got built-in aunties and grandmas, you know, godmothers, all of that. But I think being exposed to women from different areas and aspects of their lives. My line sister is, you know, 5 years older than me. So, you know, she came from a totally different mindset than I did. You know, when I came in, she was close to graduating. So she wasn't even thinking about, you know, oh, I'm pledging, I'm doing this. You know, it was you know, she had different values on money, different values on family, different values on, you know, just seeing the world. And I was just like, oh, I'm ready to party. And, you know, she let me grow up very quickly. So.
Wow. What about you, Eric?
Well, as far as me, it was basically the brotherhood. I'm an only child, and I'm an only child, single parent. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, my 2 aunts. So there's about 4 strong Black women in my household. So I basically wanted brothers that I can call upon, whether I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. I mean, a shoulder to cry on, let me some money, give me a ride here and there. Just brothers to just call on at the drop of a dime. And I have a whole chapter, a whole organization of brothers that I can call on right now. If I'm in trouble, they'll stop what they're doing. Half of them are married, half of them are not married. Stop what they're doing and come and get me and come see about me. So that was my main thing that attracted me to this particular organization.
Okay.
It was just a brotherhood.
Now, do you feel that fraternities or sororities has changed with the time, or do you feel like they're really, the organizations are still the same?
Well, like with anything, it's definitely changed. Some for the good and some for the bad. With anything, like I said, there's good and there's bad parts to it, but it's definitely changed from the beginning of time, because Embocratism, it was founded November 17th, 1911, so we're over 104 years old. So the values that were set back then in 1911 have completely changed and morphed and evolved to where we are today in 2015. So definitely, they definitely changed.
And what do you think, Keisha? Do you feel like things have changed over time?
You know, very similar to how he answered. You know, my organization was founded in the 60s. So our foundation, our roots are based in the civil rights movement, Afrocentricity. So I think as time has changed, you know, the 60s, we're in 2015. totally different genre. We have issues that we're still fighting, which are very similar and the same as what we fought in '69. But the ways that we're fighting them, the ways that we're, our outreach and the ways that we communicate is totally different.
Exactly.
And to jump back on what you were saying, Eric, it is amazing because that's how a lot of people I know that have actually thought about, pledging was because they were like a single child or they were raised just by, their mothers and they never really had a father figure in the house. I think that's another, and then when I see, people and I hear their story, I think that's another reason why I didn't want to necessarily pledge, because it's like, well, I hear that you go through this, and you went through this, and it's just like, well, can I really do it? So in some cases, it's like, it's always good because you have that person that you can really lean on, but then in other cases, it's like, well, you hear stories, and it's like, can I really do this or not? Because would you actually say, both of you, would you actually say that even though you have the support of your people that you're crossing with your line, it's still an individual thing?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Yes and no, because like when you're on a line now, for those who don't know what a line is, it's basically like your pledge class. You go over even the fall or the spring, and the people who basically are in that class with you, they're on your line. And you basically have people on your left, people on your right. And they're the ones who basically go through the process. They go through the process with you, right? And they have your back. If no any questions about it, no ifs about it, they got your back. And you're actually more close with your line sisters, as they're called, right, than anyone else in your whole organization. Like I have a line of 10, including me. And me and my front door, the reason why it's what I call my front door, because he stands in front of me. When they line us up, he stands in front of me. Right? I have a front door and I have a back door. And my front door and I are the youngest in our chapter. I cross at 26, he crosses at 24. And our chapter is 150 plus. So we're the youngest, the babies in the chapter, right? So we had to have each other's back because all our other line brothers, like the oldest one on my line now, he's now 54 now. Right? So we had to basically lean on each other because like we're still in our 20s and we still look like we're in our early 20s. Even to this day, I'm 20 years old now, and I survived that. I'm in my early 20s. So you're close with your line brothers than anybody else. So they have your back, whether you right, wrong, or indifferent. You could basically commit murder and be sentenced to life in prison. And it also say, well, as my line brother, I got that regardless though. Regardless of what he did, as my line brother, I got his back.
Be there.
Yeah,
I
got his back, regardless.
With having someone in front of you and behind you as your front and your back, then that means, do the person behind you have a front and back?
Yes.
Just go like that all the way down?
So basically, let's take my line for example. It was line of 10, right? We have the person in the front who is the ace, number 1, right? Then you have 2 and 3. I'm number 3 on my line. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the a person on the front of your line is known as the ace. The person on the back of the line is known as the tail. So beginning and the end, right? I'm the 3 on my line, also known as the tray on my line. And then I'm in the middle, so now I have a front and a back. The ace has a back door, not necessarily a front door because he's the first person on the line.
Gotcha.
The tail has a front door but not a back door because he's the last on the line. Understand?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You just made this seem like I was playing chess. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to, who's queen, who's king? I'm trying to keep up, my God. But okay, I get it. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. Wow.
What are some of your thoughts about a TV show, Sorority Life, and how they portrayed the real issues of a sorority?
You need a break for this?
Fortunately, 25 Cent Social Fellowship Incorporated was not on that show, but I did watch the extended trailer. I did not watch the entire show, and I think, I saw the trailers. I saw the repercussions that happened to the women that were in the organizations afterwards. If you don't know, their organizations expelled them for life, and I think that based on what I did see, it was a right decision in their part. When you wear your letters, when you become a member of the organization, you're essentially representing them, day, night, especially when you have on your letters, your representation of the organization. So I think, one, this is my own personal bias, but reality shows definitely extort the image of Black women in general, but I think Sorority Girls definitely was a direct effect to tarnish Black sororities. So.
I have to agree with her, but at the same time, there's something that shouldn't have been even in the works to begin with, right? Because I can't say the same for the organization involved, but I know for my organization, I'm pretty sure, say for Swing 5 Swing, you can't do anything like that without getting permission from IHQ. Like, I'm like, my headquarters is in Georgia. I'm not sure where Swing 5 Swing headquarters is located at, but you can't do anything like that without getting permission. Look at Ricky Smiley. He has his own TV show, his own radio show. But in order for him to say anything about Omega Psi-Phi, hell, to say Omega Psi-Phi name on TV, on the radio, he has to get permission to do that. And and that should have been something that should have been cease and desist from the very, very beginning. And even if the presidents of these organizations didn't know about VH1, do your research. I mean, no offense though, but every show on VH1 shows Black people in a very interesting light.
Right.
Yeah, you got a point.
And that shouldn't even been touched from the get-go. Now, I feel sorry for these ladies losing their letters, right? But it should have been touched from the get-go.
To an all brand new Style Chronicles radio show with your host, Sean Smack Mac and
The Danielle Baker.
yes, Danielle Baker. It's a new chronicle we're excited tonight. It's called The Divine Nine, and we're talking about fraternities and the sorority life and other organizations that come along with that. And we have two guests here, which they've been breaking it down for us and telling us a little bit about the different organizations that they are with and different community events that they do. Miss Keisha Reed, say hello, Keisha Reed.
Hey. Oh,
Yeah. Not the little sisters though. And Eric Astrup. Say what's up, Eric.
Hey, how you feeling?
We're feeling good. I think everybody's feeling good. So once again, we'd like to thank them for coming onto the Style Chronicles radio show and talking about fraternity, sorority, and organization life. So, you know, Miss Baker,
Hey,
so
hey,
far,
hey.
How you feeling? Have you found out?
I'm getting my learn on tonight, honey.
Okay, now I'm getting my learn on tonight, honey. All right, so before the break, I told you that I'm going to break down what the Divine Nine actually stands for. So this is what it is. The Divine Nine means the National Pan-Hellenic Council is a collaborative organization of 9 historically African-American international Greek-lettered fraternities and sororities. The 9 NPHC organizations are sometimes collectively referred to as the Divine Nine. The members/partner organizations have not formally adopted nor recommended the use of the Divine Nine term to describe their collaborative grouping. The NPHC was formed as a permanent organization on May 10, 1930 on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C., with Matthew W. Bullock as the active chairman and B. Beatrix Scott as vice chairman. NPHC was incorporated under the laws of the state of Illinois in 1937, and currently their headquarters are in Decatur, Georgia, down there with Mr. Styles, the executive producer, Mr. Styles. So there you have it, the Divine Nine. That's what it stands for. So interesting. When I actually got that fact, I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. But interesting. All right, so we were talking a little bit about, you know, what you guys do for the community-wise and things. My question is, I know you say a lot of you work with like youth, pretty much. How is it, you know, seeing them grow and get to the point, would you actually encourage them to possibly pledge?
Well, I would encourage them to basically follow their heart, because they might grow up and my organization might not be for them. Just because that, like I said before, we mentor a lot of kids, that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't grow up to be members of my organization. Piggyback onto what Sean said about the Divine Nine, there are 5 fraternities and there are 4 sororities, hence 9. You have Alpha Phi Alpha, you have Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Phi Beta Sigma, and Iota Phi Theta. And
keep going.
then the sororities are Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Zeta Phi Beta, Sigma Gamma Rho. So yes, I would. If you want to be a member of my organization, that's great. But I encourage people to. The youth basically just follow their hearts and go wherever their hearts take them to.
And you know what? You just basically you've been looking at my sheets over here. You just did my work for me, because literally when I say I had that right in front of me, man. had it right in front of me and I was about to go down to, but hey, you knocked it out the park. I give you that, Eric. You knocked it out the park.
Right.
Miss Baker, I'm curious, did you ever think about pledging yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
All
Why?
day long.
Why?
Because I think it's more so for the bond. I think that the bond is something to have for a lifetime, you know? And I think that that's good to have. And a lot of times when you hear about sororities and, you know, things like that, you always hear about the connection. Like the connection speaks out. It speaks volumes for years to come. That you, and it doesn't matter where you are. We can be in Baltimore today, and then I can move to LA, and I'll can find people that's, you know, in the same sorority. You know,
That's true.
so and still have that same bond, that level of respect. Like,
Okay.
you know, it just seems like, you know, just from what I know and what I hear, that it's a great thing to be a part of. So.
Is it truly a brotherhood and a sisterhood? Let me ask that, because I know that you do. I mean, for instance, like, you know, sorority life, but then at the same time, on the other end, you do have those times where it's kind of shaky, and you know, you may have the arguments, you may have the bickering, you may have the fight. But regardless of all that, is that brotherhood and that sisterhood? Is it still there?
Absolutely. It just like you explained it, we're family, you know, we're
Okay.
sisters. So
And some of y'all closer than family.
absolutely, you
You
know,
know,
Got that right.
I'll call my line sisters before I call, you know, some people in my family, because there are things that I experience with my line sisters and other members of the organization that I probably will never experience with any of my family members.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important to distinguish the fact that, one, we are women and men. My organization's not women. Two, you know, we all have our different backgrounds and, you know, upbringings that we come from. But at the end of the day, I think there's one common bond that brings us together, and it's either the mission of the organization or, you know, the foundation that the organization is set upon.
Mm.
So we
Okay.
fight like sisters, we love like sisters.
And that's all that matters. I mean, the fact that you come back together and you're able to work through your differences and problems. What about you, Eric?
I mean, to piggyback what Keisha said, like, it's definitely a brotherhood. Like, I mean, in my family, like, everybody has brothers and sisters. Like my blood, everybody has brothers and sisters, and the bond between a brother and sister is really really undeniable and indescribable, because like my mama could tell. Okay, I'm sorry. If she tell anything to her sister, that she can tell me or her actual mother, right? And it's the same way in fraternity sororities. Like, I can go in my line brothers about anything. I tell them more stuff that I tell my friends, my cousins, or whatever, right? And like a real family, right? You want to fight physically, emotionally, mentally. You want to fight,
Yeah.
right? But then tomorrow you gonna call each other back up, and get back together, right? And call it a day. And that's what a brotherhood and a sisterhood is all about.
So how does the bond, I guess, is formed? Meaning, if you guys are, or everybody on your line is pretty much pledging at the same time, correct? So if everybody on your line is pledging at the same time, no one knows anybody, they don't know enough about the organization to just already set that, I guess, that bond. How does the bond end up connecting? Is it more so because of the leadership that's there that get everybody on the same accord? Because if you're coming from all different walks of life, to get everybody on the same accord that hasn't been in the organization previously, how does that happen?
I think that's what makes the bond stronger, is those different experiences coming together to meld into a process that you go through to become a member of an organization. You know, there are certain experiences and things that happen when you know, learn the rules and the foundations upon what the organization is set upon. So you share that bond, you share that experience, and in some situations you share, you know, a lot of time together. So a closeness is built, a bond is built, and I think that answers your question.
Okay.
And then how long does it take for someone to pledge to actually, or you
Yeah,
know,
good question.
become a member?
It depends on the chapter and depends on the organization. Like it could be from weeks to months to almost a year. So it really honestly depends on what part of the world you're in. Whether you're in America, you're in Europe, you're in South America, whatever. It really depends on where you're at. So there's no set answer to that question, because it varies from place to place to place.
Okay. How, as far as like community wise, I know that with this being Black History Month, and I mean, I know a lot of communities now are starting to do Black History programs or something. Do you guys actually reach out and do a lot of events or things within the African American community? And what is the reaction from the community for the events that you guys do or participate in?
Well, on a national level, Swing for Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated is partnering with the Selma, Alabama March. It's the 50th anniversary of the march from, Montgomery to Selma. Very famous march. If you've never heard of it, research it. It's definitely based on the movie that just was in theaters. And we're going down there, we're marching for 3 days with some members of our organization that are down either in the South or in the West Coast or wherever, you want to volunteer your time. So I think that's this year is how we're making our impact during our season of action. So we do a season of action from the month of March to September.
Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
And as far as Omega Psi Phi, we have national mandated programs that every chapter in Omega Psi Phi must do. One event is called a talent hunt. It's basically like a really, really big local talent show. The brothers put together the show and talent from Life and Society as a Baltimore City. The chapter of Baltimore City, they'll basically put together a big talent show, right? Makes it and youth from all over Baltimore City can come and take part in this and actually win a lot of money. And then once you win the local talent show, you basically go on to the national talent show and compete against people from all over the whole entire world, right? And if you win that, you actually win a lot of money towards the scholarship. And then we also have a program for a blood drive. Every chapter does a national blood drive, right? Especially for the African community, they do a whole. They donate. We donate. We receive a whole lot of people to come in and donate blood, right? Because there's shorts on blood now, right? So every year, like around May or June, that's a program that every chapter in the whole world does, and we do that. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
let me ask you this. Can someone that's not in college, join? Is the first part. And then the second part is if someone's older that did not go to college or dropped out of college or, that's going back to college and they're a lot older than, I guess, that age group, would they be allowed or, afforded the opportunity?
Either way, if you're on a college campus and you meet the requirements for membership, you can definitely do it as long as you're an active student. Even if you graduate, that's the good thing about African American fraternity sororities is there's life beyond college.
That's good to know.
Yes, because I graduated in 2009 and I joined my organization in fall 2012. Right, so you can join after you graduate, as you have a legitimate degree, but you will basically need to either have a degree or in school getting a degree to be able to join any organization, and also that has to be in an established organization on your campus.
So somebody can already have graduated from college and bring their degree to you guys, and they'll be able to join.
They will still, they still have to apply and go through the process of becoming a member, right? But definitely yes.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say, same thing with swing, even if you.
I'm gonna pause you real quick. Sorry about that. We have a caller.
Okay.
WPB Radio, the Styyle Chronicles radio show. You're on air. Hello. WPB Radio? Okay, well, hopefully the person calls back. All right, go ahead, Keisha.
So, basically the same thing with, very similar to swing, there is life after college, predominantly white institutions, traditionally they go through a rush and they go through a process of joining their organizations, and that's where it stops, that's where it ends. But, the good thing about historically Black organizations and colleges is that there's grad chapters, there are alumni chapters, there's advisory boards, there's regional and local chapters they can all join. So even if in swing instance, if you don't have a degree, but you are a working professional, you can join a graduate chapter.
Okay, Keisha, let's try this one more time. Let's see.
That was in the brains.
WPB Radio, you're on air, caller. Okay. I'm trying to see. WPB Radio.
Take your phone off mute.
Right. Maybe they got their phone on mute. But... All right, caller, you're on air. Can you hear us? Okay.
Sound like we're there for a second?
Yeah, they was there for a second. That was
like
you're more than welcome to call 888-400-5574. So call back, definitely.
So you said that you are, I missed that last point with the call coming in.
If you're a working professional,
Mhm.
so if you did not attend school, but if, say for instance, you graduated high school, you got a great government job that you've been in, at least 2-3 years, you established, you've done some community service work in the community, you want to give back, and you think that swing's a great fit for you, definitely reach out and we'll hit you up.
Oh, that's nice.
So my
then
question.
your
Go ahead.
your line people will be all different ages then.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
good,
not
yeah.
typically just everyone, I guess, the freshmen in college or something like that.
No. On the grad level, my line is including me is 10, and the only person on my line, he's now 53, right? So there are people. I mean, my line brothers are from all walks of life. I have a line brother who's the top DEA agent in Baltimore City. I have a line brother who is an excellent realtor. I have a line brother who owns McDonald's and a Wendy's.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So all my line brothers, they are doing something professionally in all different walks of life. So yeah.
Well, y'all giving me hope.
You still got it. You still can do
Yeah,
it.
you can.
I think if it's a passion of yours, if it's a goal of yours, definitely get out, work with the
I gotta
organization.
see the requirements. I don't have a government job, but I'm an entrepreneur.
I mean, yeah.
I got a lot of community service I can show y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get to nitty gritty because when I told a couple people that we're doing this, and then people hitting us on Facebook, and this was a question that somebody want to ask. Why does it cost so much to actually pledge?
Oh.
Yeah, because it is a cost, and I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, no,
but
I didn't know.
yes.
It costs more than time?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see a small registration fee
Oh,
or like thousands of dollars.
Well,
she breathed heavy, so. That's your answer, Ms. Baker.
it's a very honest answer, and a lot of people don't get to see the price or that sticker price before they become members. They get to see it once they've submitted an application and have been accepted, and they say, "Oh, got to figure out how I'm going to raise this money." But as a national officer in Swing Fi Swing, I can honestly say, and I hope my board and my executive officers don't ding me for this, that becoming a member of an organization that is financially responsible for the intake of individuals, you have to make sure that as an organization you are covered through insurance policies and that you're not liable for someone who may necessarily come through the organization and say, well, I didn't like the way that I was treated online, or I don't necessarily, I think, Swing has stole my money. I'm going to sue you for, X amount of dollars to get my money back. So I think as a, financial precaution, there is a sticker price for intake. And also, I'm not sure about the Greek-led organizations, but Swing is a nonprofit organization, so we constantly have money revolving and moving through the organization.
Okay.
So to host, our national convention, our regional meetings, things of that nature.
So normally the price comes after you, right before you actually become a member.
Right. That money portion is that last piece.
And then once you do that, that kind of certifies you to get in.
That starts the process.
Yes. Yes.
Don't look scared.
Now.
I'm cringing over here.
You dropped the headphones and back
I'm a single
up.
mom, like.
Now, as far as the Greek-led organization is concerned, you basically have your membership fee, you have dues, and you have the dues that goes to your IHQ, which is your national headquarters. Whichever organization you're a part of, you have a national headquarters. And the money, like the lump sum goes towards your chapter dues. That means for whatever chapter you're in your city, you have dues for that particular chapter, and then you have money that goes towards IHQ. Right. So and then there's a membership fee to actually to tie that all together.
Is that a yearly fee?
Well, it depends. I know with some organizations, like once you go over, you're active or financial for a good 2-4 years. So it really also depends on what organization that you're with. And being financial means that you're basically in good standards money-wise with your organization, basically.
Pause real quick, Eric. We got a caller. All right, let's try this again. WPB Radio caller, you're on air. It's your host, Sean Mack, the Smack, along with
Danielle Baker.
See, there you go. There you go. I can lead you in.
Right.
I can lead you
I
in.
can't hit that note.
I felt like we got our own
Not tonight anyway.
little organization going on.
Okay, we got it now.
Even though I can get the high, I ain't gonna do it on here. I can do it on station. Alright, tonight our chronicle is entitled The Divine Nine. We're talking about fraternities and sorority life, and other organizations that stem from off of fraternities and sororities. We've had a couple of people that tried to call us. So sorry, I know we're working on that. So, but try again, please. We still love you from the bottom of our chronicle hearts. But our guest tonight in studio, we have Miss Keisha Reed and Eric Astrop. How are you guys doing again?
Doing good.
That's good. That's good. All right, Miss Baker. Like you was about to.
No, actually, I was going to piggyback on a couple of questions before you go into a
go ahead.
different direction. One of the questions I had was, how can someone get put out of an organization?
Good one.
So an organization, just like any job, any type of membership, any type of family, if you do anything that disrespects the organization, degrades the organization, mocks the organization, you can be put for grounds of renewal. I know Swing has a judicial process that we go through that reviews all types of complaints, concerns, things of that nature.
Let me pause you real quick, Keisha. Sorry. Let's try this again.
Okay.
Let's see if this works. Okay. We got a caller calling in. All right. Computer. That's the problem. You see, we rely on computers too much.
Oh,
these
man.
days.
Go ahead.
All right, Keisha, go ahead.
So yeah, there's a review process that takes into effect. But for example, if you were to kill someone with your letters on, you can be expelled. You can also be put in jail. But if you were to do something that would reveal any type of insider secrets, any type of, things that are proprietary to the organization, just like if you were to sell stocks when you knew that your company was going under, it's very similar to that. If you were to haze, hazing is a really big part of, unfortunately, a big part of organizational culture. So if you were caught hazing, you can be fined, you can be expelled, you can also be arrested for that, because in many states it's against the law.
Did they go, that's like get together in the board and you gotta like go see a board of people, or whoever is your chapter leader or something?
I think, very similar to the chain of command. If you
pause you real quick, Keisha. WPB Radio. WPB Radio. Alright, I see we're still having phone difficulties. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, Keisha. So sorry about that.
It's okay. So yeah, it's just, you have a chain of command that you go through, which then, for Swing, we're governed by a board of directors, and then from that point on, it's taken into that direction.
Well, with Omega is when, like with any organization, there are rules and regulations that you have to abide by to become, to be a member of this organization. And if you break one of those rules, it's kind of like a ladder that you have to go up to, depending on the infraction. You have to deal with your chapter first. Then you have to deal with the legal issue with with the state that your chapter is in. So my chapter is in Howard County, and then from there we'll go to basically the state of Maryland, the board of directors, and state of Maryland. Then from there go to the head, and that. IHQ, right? So there's like a ladder that you go up to, and that's just within your chapter. Now, if it's to the point to where as though you have to get lawyers and the legal system involved, right? Then not only and deal with your organization, but also the legal system as well. Because like if you basically break a law, like a law that's governed by in the USA, right? Not only you have to deal with your chapter and your organization, but the law in itself. Right? So well, Omega Psi Phi, there's like steps going up a ladder that you gotta deal with if you basically break a rule, basically.
Got it. I got it. Yeah. Y'all putting it all together for us. Now tell us a little bit, because both of y'all mentioned with your organizations, it's kind of like continued life after college. So what does that include? Like what happens differently, or what is continued on that doesn't stop once you leave college?
Well, if you become a member of an organization like a Greek organization or a social fellowship, right? You have life in college, and mostly is half of it is business, and the other half of it is having fun, being a member of this organization, social life, right? I mean, you come in as like a regular old person, and then once you go over, once you join the organization, there's like there's like a social life like it's like has expanded. Like every 5 minutes you're doing something. Like every weekend, you got a road trip to go to, you got a party to attend to, you got to do a step show, whatever, right? And then the other half is the business, community service, serving mankind, serving your school, serving your organization.
I'm gonna pause you real quick, Eric. Sorry about that.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, we got a call coming through. Sorry about that. Computers be my friend today. I think computer. We're gonna have a chronicle called computers. All right, go ahead, Eric. If it calls again, then.
All right. So that's your undergrad years while you're in college, and then once you graduate, it's more on business than it is social. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, I keep pausing you. Sorry. Hey, we're trying to work on the phone lines here. All right, let's try this now. Let's see. WPB Radio. Okay, Eric, you're on. Keep talking.
So once you graduate and you become involved with the alumni or the grad level, it's more business than it is social. Don't get me wrong. Like you'll still be a social life, so to speak. You'll still have a life, like go to events or the step shows or what have you. But it's more on the business side. Like with my chapter, it's more on the business side than it is basically being a little OQ. Right,
Okay.
you're more of a Omega man now, because everyone knows as being Qs. But once you graduate and you start getting older, more involved in your German community, you become what's called an Omega man, right?
Got it.
And I think for, speaking with swing, it's very similar, but, if you definitely become a member in the undergraduate, sector, your graduate life is very different because, you're embracing and, merging your organization into your personal and professional life. So while there is definitely that social aspect that expands, there's also the professional aspect that expands. And, like you said, you're not traveling every weekend like you were in undergrad. You're traveling to chapter meetings, you're traveling to regional meetings, you're preparing for your national convention that happen, for swing happens once a year. So, it becomes less of the social aspect and more of the professional aspect.
I agree.
And then
This is after you leave college.
This is after you leave college. But,
Okay.
if you do join, in the professional sector, it's not all business. I think it's very similar to, I like to think of it as when you become a graduate member, you pledge, you become a sister, you get all of the benefits and the perks of being a sister. I think, Swing Fight Swing is a social fellowship, so we have that social and that business aspect in it. We party hard, we work hard.
I agree. I agree. That's like
There's nothing lost on becoming a graduate member.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, when it comes to the female side of the sorority life, and then you have the fraternity side, is there any type of competition that happens here? where it's kind of like, okay, the guys do it better than the girls, or the girls do it better than the guys. And I guess the same thing with you, Keisha, for, you know, your organization. Is it ever a competition, being like, you know, mine's is better than yours or something like that? Do you ever go through that where the guys do a little bit better than the females and the females do a little bit better than the guys?
Well, that's life. I mean,
True.
That's life. I mean, even if you take the aspect of fraternity or sorority out the mix, there will always be competition between men and women, right? But I think that in the Greek world, fraternity sorority world, it's mostly competition amongst like fraternities versus fraternities and sorority versus fraternity. Fraternity versus fraternity and sorority versus sorority.
Okay.
Right. That's where most, well, if not all, of competition lies at.
Okay. Now, is STEP like one of the biggest, like, as far as like competitions that you guys do? Or are there other events that actually, you know?
Well, I think stepping is a very integral part of the African American community, African culture, because stepping definitely comes from Africa. Don't let anybody else tell you that it doesn't.
Exactly.
And you know, I think stepping has been a way that we communicate how we feel, how we express ourselves, how we're feeling in the moment. So, I mean, I think I can speak for all of, you know, Black organizations that do participate in that activity. That is very important.
Definitely.
And you don't have to step, though. I know
Yes.
some people that can't step.
But I'm so serious. Somebody gonna show me a move tonight, or I can't learn a move.
Please show her a move.
Because
Somebody
I'm not
please
going
show
to.
her a move.
Do you
got the right shoes on tonight?
Even I can
You
take
got
it
heels
off.
on.
I can take it off. Even if
I was about to say, you don't break a heel, Miss Baker. Don't be coming in here.
I can take it off. I want to learn a step.
No, you
Even
better
if
do
you
it in them
can't-
heels.
Even if it's like against the organization to show a step, then just another step. Just something. Show me something.
She's excited. She's like
I
12.
am.
She's like 12 all over. Just show
I'm
me
like in a
something.
candy store.
Just show me something. Hold on, we got a call. Hold on real quick. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we're working here. Hold on. WPB Radio, you on air? WPB Radio. Okay. Well, we're having phone issues tonight. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like that's absolutely crazy.
Tell us about your best experience or most memorable with your organization, and then we also want to know your least, if you are able to say.
And don't hold back. You gotta say that now. Don't hold back. You gotta give it to us straight. Alright, we're gonna start with Eric this time. Let's start with Eric. Cause Keisha over here like,
She
oh
in
my
thought.
god, she in major thought. If you watching on the website, that's her right now. She just froze.
Okay, the most memorable will have to be a couple months ago. I was awarded the Superior Service Award for my chapter. It's basically acknowledging all my achievements, my basically everything I've done for my chapter and Omega Psi Phi as a whole. And I was awarded that at our Founders Day brunch that took place this past November.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And like I received a plaque, and I'm somebody who like to be behind the scenes. So for them to put me out there in front of everybody to receive this award, I was like, okay. And then they want me to say something. I'm like, okay, I really don't want to say anything. Y'all know how my mouth is. I really don't want to say anything, right? But that was my memorable moment thus far. As far as my least memorable moment, with like what Keith said in the very beginning, every organization had different people from all walks of life. You have good people and you have ignorant people. You have nice people, you have a-holes, so to speak. And for some reason, I just attract all the a-holes and the ignorant people to me. So the past 2 years that I've been a member of my organization, for some reason I've just met some interesting people, so to speak. And I basically had to govern myself in accordance to Omega Psi Phi. I had to govern myself with our 4 cardinal principle, which is manhood, scholarship, perseverance, uplift, and basically just smile and walk away. But in my mind, I'm like, go to hell and yeah, that's just me. But Yeah, so
Alright.
yeah, that's just me.
And I'm pretty sure you actually deal with it because I know as guys you get very competitive, very competitive.
And
The littlest
women
small-
do too.
Well, true.
Well, I mean, as far as me go, like I pledged the grad chapter, and I look like I'm still in my early 20s, not in my late 20s. So a lot of people, they come in thinking that, oh, I'm just a little boy, but when they talk to me and they know I got a mouth on me and I have a little bit of an a-hole side of me, right, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different story.
Okay. What you got, Keisha?
So if I had to say what my most positive, my best experience, my memorable,
most memorable.
would probably be the day I became a member of the organization.
Wow.
And you know, there's moments, and I'm pretty sure he can attest to it. There's moments in the process when you're becoming a member where you think,
What am I doing here?
what's going on? What am I doing? Am I supposed to be here? Is this my purpose? This is where I'm supposed to be? And there have been plenty of people who have gone through the process that have become members of, organizations that realize it's just not for them, any organization. So I think, the day that, I was officially a member of Spring Festival Social Fellowship Incorporated was probably one of my most memorable days. And one that, my least memorable experience would probably be, God, I had a great answer for this in my head. It just went out. But I think,
Somebody got on your nerves.
you deal, like he said, you deal with different, personalities and people coming from different backgrounds. And I think, although I may have had situations where I, popped off, my line name is Loose Cannon. So, I may have said something slick or, just completely ignored you.
I love it. That's I love it.
That's what you named for you for the rest of the show. She Loose Cannon.
I love it.
Loose Cannon.
You gotta tell us yours too, Come on, we can make up one for the next 20 minutes. We can get one too.
We're going to get one too.
I think that, learning and growing from that experience definitely made me a better woman. So, I'm pretty sure I have hundreds of stories that I can say where I popped off, wasn't humbled, just completely just did not do right.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm here today to say, I'm sorry and,
Wow. I got one for you, Miss Baker. I'm going to call you Stump and Pump.
Stump and pump?
Yeah, because you want them to teach you a step, so you got to stomp with pumps. There you go. That's a good one. Stomp and pump.
That's a good one.
I feel like it's stomp.
Well,
It sound like he said that. That's what I had.
That's when the countryside comes in. Stomp and pump. You stomp and pump.
Right,
Yeah.
you say my name like, dang yeah.
Well, excuse me, I don't have the Baltimore twang. I don't have the
You should
Baltimore.
have all these years living in Baltimore.
Okay, so what's your name gonna be?
I don't know.
I'll definitely
I don't know.
come up with one. You gonna share yours, Eric?
Smack is out. That's my name gonna be. Smack is out.
You're not gonna go smack
Well, my line name is Samson. I actually have really long hair down my back, and my chapter is one of the oldest chapters in Maryland, and they're very conservative, very old school. So when I was online and they saw my hair, they was like, "What the hell?" And when they cut my hair, now they cut my hair for me.
Oh, so they did it.
Yes, they
Wow.
cut my hair for me, right? And when they cut my hair, they
Wait a
got your
minute.
haircut
I
too.
swear, if Keisha's just like,
I didn't say nothing.
your facial expression is
This ain't the
priceless.
first time I heard that.
But is that against your will?
no, because this part of basically the process. Right? Every organization has a different process, right? And it basically is one thing that Omega Sci-Fi holds dear, right? And so they cut my hair, and when they cut my hair, they said that my whole demeanor, my whole personality changed, kind of like Samson Delilah did. So when Delilah cut Samson's hair, right? There you go.
All new Style Chronicles radio show. Tonight has been an exciting night talking about the Divine Nine, the fraternity and sorority life, and other organizations outside of the Divine Nine. We've actually had a third guest, and she's actually joining us for the last remaining part of the show. Tamika Franks, are you with us?
I am here.
Yes, the phone are working.
Hi, Tamika.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
So Tamika,
Trying desperately.
I know.
So were we, trust
Yes,
me.
and so were we. And so sorry to everybody else out there that was trying to get in. We were having phone technical difficulties, but we're back together now. We're back on the same one
I
accord.
understand. That's okay, not your fault.
Exactly. So Tamika, tell us a little bit about yourself. What organization you with?
Sure, I'd love to. I am in the design. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Our sorority was founded on campus of Howard University January 13th, 1913. And I have been a member of Delta for 20 years.
Wow.
Yep, I pledged spring 1994 undergrad. So it's, I've been in the sorority for quite some time.
Okay.
Nice.
So my question to you is, seeing that you've been with it for a long period of time, you can probably definitely testify more so on what do you get out of it in long term?
Right.
Well, there's a couple of things. I guess I'll kind of start from, it's a process because I joined in undergrad. So for me, as far as starting so long ago in undergrad, of course, during those years, it was definitely beneficial because there was a lot of different doors that were opening up for you as, being in an undergraduate chapter. Representing your campus, all of those things. But I would say later on in life is where I really began to see the benefit of being in a sorority. And I will tell you that I have lived in the state of North Carolina. I moved to Colorado, and I moved to Maryland. In all my travels, every time I went to another city, I've always been able to connect with another Delta who's been able to help me along my way, from finding me somewhere to live, from giving me furniture, from just looking out for me, helping me with my kids. It's a family, and it's not just in the chapter that you join in. You can go anywhere worldwide, and you can find a Delta that is going to show you love. So that is the greatest thing. And when you sit back and think about it, it is something that will make you cry, because I can tell you that when I moved to Baltimore, I had left my husband. And I left Colorado to Baltimore. I had nothing. I had nothing but my son's clothes. I didn't have any furniture. And a soror reached out to me, gave me a place to stay. And she gave me all my furniture.
Wow.
So it is definitely a family. It is not just you join it in undergrad just because you think it's cool. There's a lot that comes from it. I've gotten jobs, I've gotten sorors that will, give me church homes, church families, to go to. It's so much, there's so much that you can get out of joining a sorority or a fraternity. It's not, we don't just step. We're not just here to party. We service our community, and we love our sisters and brothers.
Very
Wow.
good.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting because a lot of people, that's the first thing that, when I mention the shows to people, and then I also hear people talk about, joining a fraternity, a sorority, or another organization where you're able to unite with other people that may be in different walks of life than you may possibly be. What's that, how long do you actually, still remain friends with the people, and what's the benefit that you get out of it? And just the fact that you've even, attest to that after all you've experienced, you're still able to, definitely lean on that sister. Yeah.
Everyone can see, us stepping. Everyone can see us out in the community, giving back to the community. You can see all of that, but you don't see the genuine love. You don't see that unless you are in one of these fraternities or sororities. That's something you don't see. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And when we say we love our sorors and we love our bras, we mean it. It is not a game.
Wow.
What is, being as though that you have been in it for 20 years, what is something that you would tell, I guess, a younger, one that's pledging or already have crossed? Like, what is something that you could tell them to keep them encouraged? 20 years later, you can look forward to, X, Y, and Z.
To keep them encouraged, I would probably say, as far as like, say they join, later, early in life, they're not going to see the long-term benefit, like it's an undergrad. You're not going to see that, maybe 15, 20 years down the line, that there could be a professional Delta who may have her master's degree or her doctorate degree, and she might be that networking tool that's going to get you in that door. Because you're a Delta. Just on the strength of you being a Delta, she might put a word out for you and get you that job that you need. So I would say that's one thing that you really have to think about, because like people don't realize that you pledge in one city, but you may end up in another country, and you might find that one Delta that is going to put you where you need to be. Delta is not just in the U.S. We're in Germany, we're in Korea, we're in Jamaica, we're in the Bahamas, we're in Barbados, we're everywhere. So you don't know, you don't realize that. So those are, things that they need to remember, to once you become a soror, that there's always going to be a Delta looking out for you. And just one thing you need to realize, the one thing I try to, that we do need to tell our young people, I don't know if the panelists have already said this, but I noticed that with the younger generation, they're not very sisterly and they're not very brotherly, and I don't like it. And there's one thing that I'm seeing that we're kind of, I don't know why we're falling, we're coming away from that, and that's not a good thing. And that's something that we need to work on that.
Yeah, that's.
Well, we haven't actually covered that, but if I'll guess want to speak on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone?
I'm sorry.
So basically, she was saying that with this generation, that they're not as sisterly or brotherly, and she doesn't really like that. Do y'all find that within your organizations as well, with the younger generation, that the bond may be not as strong?
And that's a good question for you guys, because seeing that Tamika's been doing this for pretty in the organization for like 20 years.
How long y'all been in?
2 years.
2, 8.
Oh, okay. So that's really good. I mean, you're still under 10. So.
I was still in elementary school. So.
What?
Exactly.
Tamika, tell her she coming for you.
No. So what would y'all say to that though?
Yeah.
Well, I know you 2 years, so you still kind of within that generation then.
I honestly agree. Not even people who are not in college, but even on a college campus, like everybody's basically out for themselves, not worried about others in the community, not worried about being their brother's keepers, basically just me, myself, and I.
Right.
And that's not the way. I mean, to a degree, I understand it, right? But at the same time, though, you should be somebody to help your brother or sister if they need help.
Okay.
And Keisha, it's been in 8 years. What do you think?
I think that the person that I was 8 years is totally different from the person that I am now.
Mm.
And I think that one of the things that we need to think about when we're, bringing younger members into the organization is thinking about where they are at that point in their lives. Because it's very easy to look back and say, oh, well, they're doing X, Y, and Z. And, when I was, 22, 21, I didn't do this. But I think that, identifying with them and, getting on the same level that they're on, could probably move mountains. But I do agree that, the image of women has probably been distorted to the point where their self-awareness and their self-esteem has been dramatically affected. So I think it's very important for, our organizations to kind of step out there and be that bridge to, facilitate that conversation.
And I just want to give, and I definitely want to give, I want to give one shout out. We did have one of our fans actually call in, and he wanted to actually discuss the brotherhoods that we actually have. He's amazing.
I will definitely, I'm open to speaking to anyone who is interested in getting more information about Delta, or or any information about the Divine Nine that I can help you with. I don't represent all the sororities and fraternities, but I can maybe point you in the right direction, and give you some information.
Okay. What about you, Keisha?
Swing Fast Swing is online at swingfastswing.org. You can find us on Facebook, Swing Fast Swing, Instagram, Swing Fast Swing, Twitter, Swing Fast Swing. So anywhere that, you know, you need to find us, you can find us by that moniker. I would definitely recommend using our Contact Us page and getting in touch with one of our regional directors and kind of expressing interest that way, because it's a lot easier to, you know, get in touch.
Okay. Eric?
You could basically go online, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity.org is our official website. You can learn about the whole entire history of Omega Psi Phi there, the chapters in your local area. I'm not on Facebook, but I'm on Instagram at TTD1911. So if you have any questions, concerns, you can always direct message me and go from there.
Okay. I got one final question before we get into our Chronicle message for the evening. Is it more difficult to pledge undergrad than it is to pledge once you're done with, like you're kind of like older and you, like Ms. Baker said, she wants the product, she's thinking about possibly doing it. You've been thinking about it. Is it easier to kind of like wait until later on down the road, maybe once you mature as a person, or is it kind of like more difficult when you're undergrad?
I can say this, having gone through a grad process, it's both, because the values, the process basically has never changed. The only difference is in undergrad, you're dealing with your peers. So if you're a sophomore, say by the age of about maybe 18, 19, you're dealing with people around your age group. Whereas the grad, you're dealing with grown men who have been in the organization for but so many years, and they basically, and like, think of your father, right? And you come in there basically like, I'm a grown man, you're a grown man too. That's not a good way to be though. But that would be my only difference with going grad and going undergrad.
Okay, Tamika, what about you?
I would say initially I thought it was a grad chapter, but you know, as I reflect on my process, I would say that undergrad is probably a lot tougher. And the reason I say that is a couple of things. You have to think about keeping your grades up, number one. And while you're online or, you know, whatever, going through whatever process you're going through, you have to keep those grades up. That's number one. And if those fall, you will, not only are you going to be dropped offline, but you're going to run the risk of being kicked out of this school. And everyone knows that, you know, you get on academic probation and you're out of there. So, you know, it's very tough, because you have to, you know, you got to be able to juggle those things. And as a young person, it's hard to figure out how to juggle those things. When you get older, you kind of, you know how to juggle those things. You know how to put things into perspective. And then when you are in the grad chapter, people are a little more mature when they are pledging you. You know, things are just done a different way. So I would say, in my opinion, I would say undergrad is probably just a little bit tougher, and it's definitely a little more mentally challenging.
Okay, Keisha, take us home real quick.
Both, definitely. You're in two different stages of your life when you're in undergrad and in grad, so just depending on where you are.
Okay. So Ms. Baker, you still got it. I'm rooting for you. I will come and I will give you some hot water for your feet. I'll bring you some tilapia, all that, some brown rice.
That's your line name.
Yeah, cliche. You know, you're a mess. You're a mess. Oh my goodness. We thank you so much for coming on the Styyle Chronicles and allowing us to drill you guys with questions and, you know, find a little bit more.
And sharing a lot of great information.
Yes, definitely. Facts about fraternities, sororities, and the other good organizations that are out there that are not a part of the Divine Nine, but they still have that unity and that brotherhood and sisterhood that, you know, all of us can definitely use. So next, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you. So next week we will continue our celebration of Black History Month with a brand new chronicle entitled Soul Food. Yes, chronicle next week.
Already.
I know. I'm looking forward to this one too, because when you guys hear what this was gonna be about, That's just say I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be very, very interested. I'm gonna check it out this weekend. So definitely join us next week for our new chronicle entitled Soul Food. So Ms. Baker, how can our listening audience find you?
You can find me all over the social media under The Danielle Baker. That's THEE Danielle Baker. Or you can go to my website at thedaniellebaker.com.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook, Sean Mac Smack. You can find me on Instagram at SmackAttack321. Also, you can hit up the Style Chronicles page on Facebook. Please friend us and like us. You can send us messages, let us know what you think about the shows. And that's the Styles with 2 Y's, Chronicles with an S, radio show on Facebook. So make sure you please like us and friend us on Facebook. All right, Miss Baker. Now it's time for our chronicle message. You want me to go first?
I'm going to go first. I know you're going to take us in.
No.
Everybody.
Okay,
Thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, I'm gonna give you an explosion. Give it to us.
Excuses will always be there for you, but opportunity won't.
You got them excited. You got. They was excited. They didn't high five each other. They was excited.
All right.
Say it one more time for Miss Baker.
Excuses will always be there for you, but opportunity won't.
All right. See, I should have let you go last.
No, go ahead, take us in.
All right. So my my chronicle message for the evening is: having a brother or sister to lean on during hard times can be the help you need to rebuild your foundation and climb over the tough obstacles in your life holding you down.
Say that again.
Having a brother or sister to lean on during hard times can be the help you need to rebuild your foundation and climb over those tough obstacles in your life holding you down.
See, that's exactly what I'm about to pledge.
I can see it. I can see it. The Baker. Didn't you just have a jacket on the back that says The Baker? She baking all the goods. We thank everybody, all the new callers, everybody for chiming in, and yeah. So we love you from the bottom of our chronicle hearts, and we should definitely see you next week. Say good evening, Miss Baker.
Hey, well,
It's Style.
you know what?